Dear students, The Night Train at Deoli is a very interesting short story written by Ruskin Bond. And in this story, Ruskin Bond shows the feelings of an adult, an adolescent who is falsely impressed that he is in love with a girl. The story is quite a common experience of every adolescent who is being attracted by different beauties of this world. The Night Train at Deoli is a wonderful story which attracts the teenagers particularly and deals with their mentality. In this short story, Ruskin Bond narrates his experience during one of his train journeys to Dehra as an 18-year-old. He tells us that he used to spend his vacation every summer in his grandmother's place in Dehra and had to pass a small lonely station, Deoli, amidst the jungle on the way to Dehra. In fact, Deoli is a small railway station which is existed in the midst of the jungle and where his train had a halt for few minutes on his way back to Delhi or way to Dehra. And during his vacation, he used to travel by that route. Deoli is a strange place. This station appears strange to particularly the teenage boy as no one get on or off the train in this station. Many times he would surprise why the station is existed. He wanted to stay one day to give justice to the station because on his way he witnesses no one gets in or gets off there at the station. He wonders why the train stops there for 10 minutes regularly without reason and feels sorry for the lonely place of Deoli. On one such journey, the author happens to see a pale looking girl who is standing there selling the basket at the railway station. She appears to be very poor because she wore a worn out sari and she covered her shoulder with a shawl. She had no chappals. She was in a barefoot with grace and dignity. Her shiny black hair and dark troubled eyes attracts the author. The girl offers to sell baskets to him. He initially refuses to buy one and later on, being attracted by her charm and beauty, he wished himself to take one from her. When she insists, he never rejects it, happens to buy one with a little hesitation, daring not to touch her fingers in the meanwhile. Both of them just look at each other for quite some time. As Shakespeare says, love begins from the eyes and ends in the heart. The love of this boy, teenage boy, happens there, looking at the girl when they are exchanging the basket. He had found an unknown feeling in the girl. He could not define what exactly it is, whether it is mere infatuation or true love for the girl. Both of them just look at each other for quite some time. just as it strikes a chord of affection between them. They had a kind of bond, unknown bond, unnoticed bond, undefined bond between them. It happens to everyone in the teenage or age of adolescent. He longs to see her for his next journey. Her searching and eloquent eyes, again on his return journey, haunted him. The meeting helps to break the monotony of his journey and brings in sense of attachment and responsibility towards the girl. Many times he thinks that his journey would be very pleasurable once he sees her on the platform. So during his second meeting on the platform of Deoli, both of them feel pleased to see each other, a smile on their faces reinforcing it. It seems like a meeting of old friends after a long gap. Silence reigns and speaks more than words. Their feelings would speak more than the words could explain. Their second meeting was unusual, extraordinary. They stood watching each other, exchanging the bright look each other. He feels like taking her with him, but he had a fear. He does not do so. He tells her that he needs to go to Delhi, and she replies, saying, she need not go anywhere. She simply told her, told him that she need not go anywhere, and she's there to do something. He tells her that he needs to go on, but she says nowhere, perhaps expressing her helplessness because she has to sell the basket, lead her livelihood. She is a resident of that place, jungle, and where she has to survive. Both of them separate unwillingly as the train leaves the station with the hope of meeting once again on his way back to Delhi. The author spends the remainder of the journey and a long letter thinking about this girl both on his way back and on his way to Dehra and their frequent meeting. He wanted to see her, he wanted to hold her hand, he wanted to take her to home, and he wanted to give her a life. But to think all these things, he was not a matured individual. It is only a just infatuation. He could not meet out the responsibility. He could not take her. He could not provide her a comfort and a life because he was just a learning boy, college going boy. He has not yet taken the serious responsibility of a life to lead with his life partner. But he had that strange feeling to take the girl with him. He had an immense desire, he had an intense desire to see that girl once again on the platform. But unfortunately, he could not meet her on his next journey. On the next summer, soon after his college term finishes, he rushes to go Dehra, eager to meet the girl at the station. His grandmother, his grandmother being an excuse. This time she is not to be seen as at the Deoli station, though he waits for a long time. This deeply disappoints the boy because he has not seen the girl on the platform. A sense of foreboding overcomes him. On his way back to Delhi, He again waits anxiously to see her at the station, but it ends in vain. On the enquiry of the station master and at the stall, he comes to know that the girl has stopped coming to station and nobody knows about her whereabouts. Once again, he has to run for the train, invariably leave the station in the jungle. He decides that once he would break his journey there at the Deoli and spend a day in the town and search the girl, make enquiries, find the girl who had stolen his heart at best. The following year in summer, he again walks up and down the platform, hoping to see the girl, but somehow cannot bring himself to break the journey to look for her. He is unable to break the journey, stay there and search the girl because he could not define his relation with the girl on the spot. He seems to be afraid of discovering about her, dreading about anything unfortunate that could have befallen her, and wants to retain his sweet memories of her and not allow it to be spoilt with unfortunate events because still he was a student. He could not make a proper decision about his life, so he left the idea of searching the girl. Just he wanted to lead his next part of the life in the sweet memories of that girl who could sell baskets at the station. He had no dare or courage to proceed or progress in his one way love affair with the girl. All the same, the author also suggests here to his readers that he did not want to project himself like a hero of a movie or a film where the hero would meet his sweetheart making adventures in the jungle and finally he struggles hard to gain her favor, make her life partner, sings a duet with the girl, but it is a life. There is a big wide gap between real life and real life. It is not a movie, it is a life, and he is very serious. And he does not want to project himself as a film hero. It is a reality where the hero would meet his sweetheart, going through all the hardships of life, win over her. He prefers to keep hoping and dreaming, waiting for the girl. Just there is no other way, only to wait for the girl, hoping to meet her one on the other day, because it is life and reality. The author brings the readers to a realistic world rather than imaginary, unreal, fictitious world, driving home the fact that life is not like a fiction or novel or a movie. Losing and gaining becomes part of life's journey that needs to be taken in our stride. Life is a constant process which cannot be stopped. We can only carry memories forward while life goes on. This is how the author remains silent, and he wishes to lead his life in the sweet memory of those moments that he exchanged with a girl. Deoli in this story is a small station about 30 miles away from Dehra, situated on the Terai region of India, that is Himalayan range. When the train would reach Deoli at about 5 in the morning, the station would be dimly lit with electric bulbs and oil lamps. The jungle across the railway tracks would just be visible in the faint light of the dawn. Deoli had only one platform, that is single platform, and it consisted of a tea stall, a room, a clock room, a room for a station master, and there was small fruit vendors and also a few stray dogs. There was also an office of the for the station master and a small waiting room for the passengers. And this railway station had a event in the life of the author, and projects projects the illusionary, uh, loving world of a teenage boy in its background.